Hello and welcome everybody to episode 30, season 3 of the Plastic Crack podcast. As you can see, we're a man down because it's impossible to get the four of us together on a Monday night, even though we have zero social lives. So this is as far as it goes. Dom is, where the hell is Dom?
Newcastle. He's in Haley's hometown.
He's in Haley's hometown. Oh dear. Well, he's probably. I'm going to take a guess that he isn't staying in the area of Newcastle that Haley is from. Okay, I'm going to take it. I'm just going to have a guess that he's not in that area. I can't see Dom in that area. He can't. I don't think he can run fast enough. What is it? What's he doing? Is it work or is he there for?
Yeah, something to do with work, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I see. He's having a good old time.
I'm glad you're here.
Everybody,
people are just listening in the audio. That sounds a bit wrong.
That did. Brilliant. And it's my channel. Amazing. Brilliant. Anyway, guys, thank you very, very much for joining us. So as you can see tonight, the theme is So You Want to Start YouTube. Now, if you remember, and you're watching, and obviously thank you to everyone who watches on the replay. There we go.
Hey.
If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we started getting a bunch of questions about this, didn't we? We were doing, it was just a Q&A, and people were asking about YouTube or what I don't know why, but what we would recommend, but it came up quite a lot. So what we thought we'd do is we would actually just roll through the sort of setup that we each use, what we would do and what we don't do. Not necessarily sort of like, oh, how would you do it again? But we may have to say, what would you do if you did it again? Because we've all learned from mistakes. So just if anyone is thinking of setting up YouTube or has a YouTube channel and wants to do something with it, then this advice this should just be a don't do what we did, probably. Obviously we know we've got some YouTubers as well in the comments. So if you're in there and you've got a YouTube channel and you want to chime in, pop it in there. Also, if you've got any questions as we go through it, just ask. And if you've got a question that's completely unrelated to the topic, just ask, because we don't know how this is going to go. What I'll do is I'll begin by saying hello, because I know there was a bunch of people, but the first, I was actually online when the first comment went up, and because I was just checking to make sure. So I set up the stream and then I loaded YouTube to see if it had set up, and bang, there was Steve straight in there. Straight in there with 35 hours to go. So yes, congratulations, Steve. You were straight.
What this reminds me of? Do you know when they released a new iPhone or some other piece of tat like that, and you had these people. You have these people who queue outside Apple stores for 6 months just to get their hands on a phone.
Yeah, are you likening the Plastic Crack podcast to tat?
No. I think ours has got a bit more quality about it.
I have as well. I was about to liken this to a Kit Kat then. I don't know why, because I think Kit Kats are like, I love Kit Kats.
Yeah,
I like Kit Kats.
Kit Kat junkie though.
Okay. Anyway, so the people. So as always, there's you guys have been here waiting very patiently. So hello. So Pat Neal, Mortsy, Dave Kit Kat. How is that? Dave Kit Kat, Shrink 7, Andrew J. Yeah, here we go. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Shrink 7, Andrew JF, Philip Herman, Dave Baker, Paul Crouch, Harpham. He's just finished moving house. He's finally able to catch up on the podcast again. Awesome. I hope you're doing well, mate. Are you coming to CrackCon again? Steve Harbour, hello, mate. How you doing? Ham and Jam. Monday night comes around fast, doing some Normans. And unboxing some US Marines. I blame Steve. We all blame Steve. It's quite fun. Lionheart, Enemy in Sight. Rogers Company. Bicker City, hello, dude. Hope you're well over there. Storm of Steel, all right, Alex? How you doing? Red Steph, Carl Burks, Croziak, Granaprigo, Simon Stokes, Alid, how you doing, dude? East Norfolks. Duke of Wellington has popped in. Nosy's here, everyone. Michael Hiscock, Gary Clark, Steve already done. David Tuck, hi Dave. David Rayner, Mobile and Hostile. That's an amazing name. Mobile and Hostile. Shaco's here. You're right, James. Gary Clark, Dave Tuck, Crossing Obstacles. Friends of General Haig, Old School FRP, Red Steph. I think I've done you, Nathan McGowan, Gary Phillips, Mark Forsyth. Jeremy Books and Louis Baby, and it's just and Robin Southern Ken. Evening, Southern Ken.
Southern Ken.
Which one's Southern? So Southern. Well, you must be Southern Ken.
Yeah, you can't get.
You can't be any.
No.
Can't. This is Isle of White Ken. we could get with this. We could get that. All right, Leslie. Hope anyway. I've caught, and it's just done that thing where it bounced to the bottom. And look who's popped in. You're all right, dude. How
All right,
are
Travis.
you doing?
Hello,
Travis.
Travis.
Hope you're well. So anyway, everybody, hope you are all right. Welcome. As always, how have you guys been this week? Apart from hot, although that's the same thing we've been saying for weeks. It feels like
It's called air conditioning, mate.
Piss off.
I work outside. I don't get it. I don't get air conditioning. I've been no, that's the wrong one. There we go. I've been working outside all week for last week. It's just been hot, and I've been just trying to corral really sort of old people and just stop getting them, out of the sun. Just move out of the sun.
It is ridiculously warm, isn't it?
It's a little bit.
Ridiculously warm. I ventured out yesterday. I mingled amongst human beings.
That's not right. You only do that at CrackCon.
What did it affect? Did the heat affected you? What did you?
No, I went to the pub with my brother and his wife and his little nephew, and I was sat in a beer garden in that heat in a Cannibal Corpse t-shirt, playing Exploding Kittens.
Oh, that's a great game. That's a great game. That's an amazing game. I can imagine though that you were not having fun. Plus, I imagine they didn't have any of the funky, horrible beer that you like.
No, I was actually drinking lager. I know. Strange times.
Okay. In that case, then, Steve, what have you managed to do this week?
Oh, let me just clean your brush. Not much, but I've done. I actually did 2 videos last week, which is very unlike.
Was this Alex? I hope you finished early on Thursday and Friday. I finished at 3, but I had to give a talk. But because it's a community group, it's not up to me. I'm not in charge of the. I stopped them digging, but I still had to talk.
Poor you, Martin. Poor you. My heart bleeds.
It's just awful, isn't it?
Come down and do some digging.
I don't do manual labour.
Steve. You imagine Steve down there with a shovel.
Yes, it'd be amazing. I think if I could get all of the plastic crack community down there, that would be fantastic. Crack on site.
You getting Dom to dig a hole would be quite funny.
He wanted to come, but I think he could only do it at the weekend. It's the only time it's not open,
there.
So, yeah.
In my entire life, do you know how much manual labour I've done in my entire life?
Does it just involve going to the post box and then going?
I want to say nil pois.
1 day.
1 day manual labour.
1 day of manual labour, and then I quit the next day because
you realised it wasn't for you.
No, my back was gone, and it was just genuinely unpleasant. And the building I was working in probably contravened about 470 health and safety regulations.
Yeah,
I was absolutely terrified. But yeah, I'm not built for manual labor. Was it Bridge on the River Kwai where officers don't work?
Yes.
Yes, that's me. Officers don't work.
See, Richard is he sort of says shovel. We use machines. We use machines. Alex, I'll have to have a good chat about it. But effectively, we hit a layer which they're not allowed to machine out because it's an occupation layer. So I'm making them put massive test pits through it. It's really dull, and we'll move on to wargaming. So
right.
Steve, what have you been up to?
So this is what I was working on last week on the stream, and it was my last Sherman 5, and it's done.
Yeah,
wow. I love that. Very nice.
That's the last one. There's another one, another side view with the lovely stowage that I've covered it all in. It is based, base vehicles, base tanks.
Very cool.
There's the last 2. So that's the entire 11th Armoured Division thing. Well, 1,500 points finished. So I did a showcase video, but then I've found some stuff that I'm going to add to it. So it's going to be over 2,000 points by the time I finish. I was rummaging through the stash under my desk on Friday afternoon after I finished work because I was buggered if I was going to venture outside. It was too warm. And I found a bunch of British stuff that I forgot I owned. So I've got a 6-pounder anti-tank gun, medium artillery, and a mortar team. I think it's from the 8th Army box that I bought last year. So I'm going to kit bash all the crews from metal into plastic ones, and that's going to keep me busy for the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks or so.
Nice.
So that's that done, and I've been ruminating over my next bolt action project, and I can't stick to one idea at the moment. So I don't know. I was going to do something Western Desert, which is why I was watching. If anyone is friends with me on Facebook, I was watching the Big Red One on Friday night.
Yes,
for a bit of DAC inspiration, but I still don't know yet. And then at the weekend,
yes, he is. Yes, he is.
It's abstract. You got to think it in an abstract way. And then at the weekend, I made a video about the Rubicon US Marines, but I was on the Rubicon site last night and I had to back away because their World War II ranges. So I had to stop because I just spent a bunch of money, which I don't want to do. But that's it. Not a very productive week, but at least I've got one bolt action project finished, and I'm going to be moving on to another one relatively soon. That's it, really.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Ken, what about you? How's it been going? Have you managed anything?
Yeah, played some games. The Normans got a run out.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. I played Lion and Rampant.
The new one or version 1?
Version 1. Got the rule book. There's not much difference, to be fair. I'll probably get crucified for that. But no, really well. I won. Played 2 games. It was I'm trying to think of his name. Do you know the film Kingdom of Heaven, where the big battle happens and the army's destroyed, but one of them breaks through to Jerusalem? One of the guys runs off with some knights.
Oh, like it's Guy de Lusignan. There's yeah, I know what you mean. You don't mean Orlando Bloom's guy, do you?
No. So I swear it began with an M, but basically I had a whole cavalry force versus some Saracens, and I stomped him. It felt great. And then just to top it all off, because the game finished so quick, we swapped sides. So I played the Saracens and he played the Crusaders, and then I stomped him again.
Like John's comment, don't worry, crucifixion will be in the ages. Mortzik, how you doing? I managed to create a Fulsham Jaeger list with a Puma and a Whirlwind. I call it how to lose all friends.
Yeah, that's like running multiple Stuarts in a list. That you lose all friends with having 5 machine guns and Christ knows only what on a Stuart. No, it's not great. That should be banned.
Don't you yell Vikings when your Normans attack Ken? Oh dear. No, it was really good actually. Really enjoyed it. I'm playing another game, not this Friday, next Friday. I'm going to bring along quite a bit of infantry this time. So that was a 24-point game. I think we're playing either a 40-point game next time.
Cool.
Which was really, really interesting. Steve, I've run out of primer. So look what I had to do to this. I had to brush prime.
That's what I'm doing, brush priming now.
I brush primed. Oh, God. Focus.
What is that? That's a wizard.
Yeah, it is a wizard.
What are you painting?
Hero Quest.
Is that Hero Quest?
Yeah, it is. So, yes. There's
nothing wrong with brush priming.
It just takes ages.
I know, but at least I don't know. So the last time I did, I almost gassed myself. So that's why I don't prime in here, because it's quite a confined space. And yeah, I was, like I said, I mentioned it before, but I was floating around all afternoon, like a bit skew with wanting to listen to the Grateful Dead. It was brilliant. I
don't mind doing it for the odd figure like that. I've had to put 2 coats of brush primer on there. Fair enough, I've had to, but I'd rather just spray it. It's just a lot quicker. But yeah.
Well, if we talk about painting things, see what you think of this is. So obviously I was on holiday, and it'd been a couple of weeks I'd done any painting anyway, so I'd had a bit of a break. So I decided that I was going to try out oil paints.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I wanted to do oil paints because I kept on seeing that people were doing them and we've seen them in the comments. I thought I'm going to have a go. Plus, Hobbycraft was doing a discount on them, so I went and picked up some various ones. And I thought I've got some orcs somewhere, and I can't. I think the last time I painted an orc, I was about 12. That wasn't like one of the Lord of the Rings Perry orc things, you know, because they're very different. I mean, a big chunky orc, right? So here he is.
Your wife has put a message.
Oh my god! Right. 1 second. While I can't believe it. It's the only time she's actually logged on.
Oh, Haley, I'm glad you made him get up. I hope you went and made him get some prosecco.
That's unbelievable. Do you know, I like it how she's realised that texting me wouldn't have done anything, so she's had to log on to the stream. And so, anyway, so there's my orc, my oil painted orc,
nice.
which was a lot of fun.
Martin, that picture you sent me and Dom of the beforehand.
yeah,
it looked like something that had been shat out of the gates of hell.
It does. It is a bit sloppy beforehand, isn't it? So yeah, there he is. But no, it was quite fun. I can completely see why people do it, and especially for fantasy miniatures and the blending on the skin. I found the skin so easy to do and actually quite a lot of fun. Drying time, the fact that you've actually got to put it aside to dry for like 2 days didn't really bother my doing this heat. It was probably dry about 12 hours. And I found a new snow product, which I really liked. So this is going to be my new go-to snow, which is the AK snow diorama stuff with then the snow micro balloons. I don't know why they're called micro balloons, but they are sort of mixed in, scattered on. Well, that's what's just scattered on top of his shoulders. That's why if you have a lot on there, so it just a little bit of gloss varnish on his shoulders, and then just scattered that on, and it settles really nicely just on there. So yeah, anyway, that was nice. That was my first attempt with oils. So yeah, it was fun. So I've got some other ones, but yeah, they are absolutely. Like they go everywhere and they don't dry, and they do come out looking like, as you said, something that had been shat out of the gates of hell. However, I had a little bit of time over the weekend, so I got started on something else, which I think you're going to be glad to see. So I painted two Zulus, and then I thought, this is fun. So then yesterday, because I was up early and kids weren't up yet, I did the base of Zulus. There we go.
Hey.
So that's one base. That's how many base I'm putting on a base. So there you go. One base of Zulus. Because I thought it'd be more fun to put them sort of deep as a sort of a war band. So they were a lot of fun, and I've well and truly got the bug, so I'm sticking together more Zulus at the minute because I'm going to find them quite easy to work on while I do everything else. This is, believe it or not, they are. And let me get this right. I'm going to murder this pronunciation. I know it. This is the Umbeli Marriage Regiment, who were at Isanwana. Which you could tell by the shields, apparently. And then I had to chuck that casualty guy on there, so because I liked him. So.
Yeah.
So they were good fun. So I'm going to be working on those in the background while I work on my other stuff, because that took me a couple of hours just to knock out that base, which I thought, well, that's not too bad, and I can carry on with my other projects while I do them. So they were a lot of fun. A lot of fun to do. I'm going to be bombarding you with Zulu quotes now for the next few months. Yeah, that's it. Mortzik, it's a great start. Now do 99 more bases. I know I've got 120 more Zulus to get through. Mortzik has asked me, was the blood effect also? Oh yeah, it was oils, and then I whacked gloss varnish on top of it. Everything on that orc is, with the exception of the snow, is oil on there. And then I put gloss, and then I slapped gloss varnish all over his chops to make him look like he was a slobbering idiot. That was they were good fun. So yeah, it seems like we've all kind of done quite a bit. Now, before we go on. No,
I did. I've managed to, my O group stuff. I've managed to work out a deal for Dom to paint them.
What do you mean work out a deal? What do you mean work out a deal? What are you going to give him? Your firstborn child or something?
No.
Like...
So Dom's gonna keep the Americans, and he's gonna paint my Germans for me for free.
Right.
Cheers, Dom.
Yeah. Does he know this?
Yeah, he agreed to it.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Okay.
I remember at the first CrackCon, you agreeing that James was going to buy your epic ACW.
Yeah, no.
You hadn't actually agreed to any of this. It was just implied somewhat.
Yes. Yeah, but so they're not going to be sat there. And I've also realised as well that I think for the style of hobby that I'm going to do going forward, I'm going to have to go to metals. Steve, you're gonna swear.
Wow. Hold the phone. What do you mean the style of hobby?
Because I want to the amount of time, because I'm splitting time between both hobbies. So I'm splitting time between the railway and I'm splitting time between painting. Putting a plastic kit together just takes too much time. And plus I really like these Normans, these one-piece Normans. So I'm gonna have to start going metal. It's crazy, isn't it?
That was like you just virtually turned up in here and punched me in my throat.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you. I feel like today you went up a level. I feel like today you leveled up.
I leveled up.
You leveled up today. You're now like a level 10 plastic cracker. I don't know what we call it. I don't know. I don't know. It's hot, all right. I'm hot.
It's more than hot. So I thought I'd get that out there. But yeah, no, looking forward to doing the metals, to be fair. In the one piece. So yeah, quite looking forward to it.
I was working on a metal kit on Friday.
One
of the Warlord Games anti-tank gun. I'm doing it rather than just sitting down and building it. I'm doing it in stages to sort of draw the anger out. Because the last time I tried to put one of these together, I flipped out big time because it was that American 56mm anti-tank gun, and nothing would stick it together. It was just yeah. So I'm being a bit more slow with this one.
Do you know what I find? But that's when it doesn't stick like that. I have to shave both sides down with a file to try and grit up the or super glue activator. That stuff's a dom.
I think for me it's just patience, because you literally have to glue something together and then leave it for 4 years while it dries, and then come back and do the other one, then wait another 4 years.
Yeah, you don't like that, do you?
No, that's why I use super glue. That's why I use super glue and plastic, because whoa, there we go, stuck together, brilliant, sorted.
Okay, I'm just going back through a few of the comments, mostly about Haley. Well, Hungden said, "Are the Zulus Perrys?" Absolutely, they are.
I was thinking of me. Martin we're talking about.
Of course they are. Is anyone else hearing Men of Harlock? Yes. I've been pausing that film a lot, mainly to get the colour of the earth right on the earth paste that I'm using, because I'm that sad. I actually because the paste I'm using is the stuff I'm using for my Middle East stuff, the Crusaders. It wasn't quite right as it's redder, so I was using pigments. I've added a pigment into this stuff to make it a sort of a redder earth, because that's what it looks like in those films and on the sort of documentaries that I've seen. That's how sad my life is. So that's really good. Cartoon says he's wanting to start the Anglo-Afghan War on Sudan. To be fair, if I didn't already have these boxes, I would have probably done the Afghan stuff. Louis says he's got a question. Mindful ask about the limitations selling on the Facebook page. Oh yeah, so guys, if you're on the, of course, down below you'll find links to the Facebook group. You'll also find links to all of our channels. Remember to hit like on the video because it really helps out a lot and helps us out. Check out our channels, check out the Facebook page. Yes, recently we've just added some rules onto the Facebook page, and that's because it just kind of grew exponentially very, very quickly, and we were getting inundated with requests and sort of messages asking if people can put this up and put that up. So we decided between the four of us that we wouldn't allow any kind of selling posts on the Facebook page, simply because we've had so many, and because we don't have to sit there and go through and approve every single one, because we're the four admins on that. So there are loads of groups for selling stuff. If you obviously want to direct message each other, because you see someone in the group who might be interested, absolutely feel free. If you have something available in the chat and you want to chat on here and you see someone who wants wants to do it, absolutely fine. But as Dom has sort of said in the rules at the top, any direct selling post would be removed. Where else are we on here? Right. So before we get sort of stuck in to everything, we have the results of OPC 7 to go through. Now, this is the online painting challenge, and it has been phenomenal. So thank you very much to Warren, who has sent me the list. Now, I'm going to try and not screw this up when I read it like I do every single time, because it saves in a completely different order. I've printed it off. Look, I've actually printed off what he sent me, so I can't be accused. So, guys, thank you very, very much for everybody who has taken part. So I read from Warren here. OPC 7 was titled A Feather in Your Cap, and the challenge was to paint figures in fancy outfits, and we got plenty of colour and style. 14 people have submitted 18 entries. So now I'm actually going to try and do these in the right order. So Anthony has submitted two. First one, tiny elves defending the realm in 10mm. So they are War Master models. Now, remember, guys, the online painting challenge, which is put together by Warren, Bjorn, and a few other people, is just to kind of get a bit of community painting going. There is no prize, and at the end of the month, or at the start of the following month, we will show them on here, and each one's got a different theme. So he's done tiny elves defending the realm, and then he's done more tiny elves, tiny elves. So they are fantastic. Now, the first one, Bjorn has done a Byzantine Emperor.
Oh, nice.
Very, very cool. Is that the Fireforge model? I have a feeling it might be.
Don't know, whatever it is, it's nice.
Yeah, I think it might be, but it's lovely stuff. And then he's trying to do something new with this next one. Very cool. I mean, that is a fancy feather. No denying that is there's definitely a fancy feather going on there. That is very nice. Carl has done a Renaissance knight playing the part of an Empire Templar Grandmaster. Okay, that's very cool. Nice. That's very cool. God, that blue is awesome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
very, very nice. Excellent stuff. Next up, Gaza has some shiny Republican Romans. Now, this is, of course, I bet it's not. There's always one that it never load. It doesn't load. Right, we'll come back to Gaza because it'll be in there, but bloody StreamYard obviously hasn't uploaded it. Next, we have John with his guard. Obviously, I'm not there. They're very nice. Very, very nice. Scottish nobles. There we go. They are lovely. We've got Jonas with a very fancy Marshall Ney.
Oh,
I love that model. That's still one of my favorite models.
That's a cool model.
And that is, yes, because it just doesn't matter what you do with it. It just looks cool. And it's a really, really good likeness as well. That is fantastic. Right. So the next one is just incredibly impressive. It's 54mm. It's from by Martin, but it also makes me shake with fear when I look at it, because he has done one of the 7th Queen's Own Light Dragoon Hussars from 1815. And this is 54mm, and this is Mel.
Oh,
very nice.
That. Look at all that lace. That is stunning. Stunning work. Good. That is just absolutely fantastic.
No words, Martin. That's one of the best things I've seen this year, paint wise. That is phenomenally good. Phenomenally.
It is lovely. You still don't fancy doing some hussars then, Steve?
No.
You still don't fancy it.
If I come on here one Monday and say, do you know what I've been painting? A shitload of Napoleonics. Something has gone really wrong in my life.
Sorry, this is sort of funny. Right, so I've got Gaz's picture. So here are his shiny Republican Romans. Hey. Very nice. There we go. That's very, very cool. I assume that's the Victrix Command set, which is I started the set I haven't actually made, but that does look very, very cool. Then we have Pat, who has got a Cypher Lord.
Bloody
That's
hell.
cool. That's wicked. What's that from?
That's terrifying.
Is that from Warhammer?
I don't know.
Is that Warhammer? That's very cool. Really, really nice. And then Paul has done some Landschnecks.
Hey,
if you're gonna have fancy hats, I mean, you know, what else are you going to do apart from have a look at some Landschnecks? Paul McKay has done. This was his English Civil War Hasselridge's Regiment Cuirassiers. And where the hell has that gone? God damn you, StreamYard. 1 second, chat. Talk amongst yourself while I find his picture.
Who's sitting in awkward silence for him?
No, apparently,
Yes.
if John said if I'm painting Napoleonic, send the cops round, it's obviously a call for help.
Oh, it's all right, everyone. Just so you know, Hayley has made it back, and you remember to take the door off the latch.
Yeah.
Good. Right. So over here. Oh, thank you. You brought me some cider. There we go. Look, so here is Paul. This is one of the London Lobsters, one of Hasselridge's Command Cuirassiers, which is very, very nice. Very cool. Now, I think he said that the model he wanted to paint hadn't turned up, but that is fantastic. Roy has done another bust. That is awesome.
Oh, bloody hell.
I need to paint that bust. I need to do that one that...
yeah.
I haven't done it yet. I've just remembered.
For
Yeah,
shame.
sorry, Sean, if you're watching. I do need to get my act together and paint that. I'll blame Hayley. She's put it away somewhere, clearly. And Stephen, it just says on here, untitled, but definitely fancy.
Oh, yeah.
That is definitely fancy. That is
fancy.
That is a prominent feather. That is.
I will turn up at CrackCon dressed like that one day.
So Tony has got fancy pants with a feather. No, fancy pants without a feather. Sorry. What? No fancy. Is he labelled them up wrong? Has he got a feather? Oh, he has got a feather. Yes, it's in his hat. He's waving it behind. So there's fancy pants with a feather, and then he's got fancy pants without a feather. That's awesome. That is a lovely old school comic.
Is that pistol in his left hand? Is that the original?
No, it's Kit Bashed.
I was going to say that's Kit Bash, isn't it? That's a great choice. That's Grimdark. Grimdark all over it.
That is very, very cool. That is cool. I love the red. So fantastic stuff. And then finally we have Warren, who's done a princess who needs no Prince Charming. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's just awesome.
Yeah, I can see why.
That's just awesome.
That banner is ridiculously good.
That's Laura when she found out I wanted to put dice on the table at our wedding.
Oh yeah, how did that go down?
Not very well.
I thought you were walking a bit funny. So guys, well done, fantastic. So just so you know, the August challenge is a box diorama. So head over onto the Facebook group, and if you look for OPC 8. Then you'll see it. But before we get into the topic, there is a bonus OPC this month. And this comes down to Kenzie, you're going to be able to take part in this. So if you remember that not next week, but the week after, we are very pleased to be having Michael Lovejoy join us, who is the creator of Burrows and Badgers. He's a sculptor. He's the mind behind the whole thing. So it's going to be fantastic to talk to him.
He's the Badger Man.
He is the Badger Man.
Badger Man.
So Warren came to me with this, and I thought instead of reading it out, I'm just going to post up what he's written. So with Michael Lovejoy guesting on the show in a few weeks, we thought a bonus online painting challenge was in order. Unsurprisingly, the challenge is to paint an anthropomorphic warrior, big or small. It could be a fantasy beast, monster, whatever, but rather something based on a real animal. All models entered will be featured on the show with Michael, which they will be. And you need to post your entry on the PCP Facebook page by the 28th of August with the special hashtag Badger Challenge. And yes, we are looking forward to see what's coming up. So if you've got some Burrows and Badgers miniatures, if you've got something you've already painted, post them on there. Even if you've got to do a little bit of sprucing on the bases, or ain't got to do, just post them up and we'll put them on there. If you've got some Burrows and Badgers miniatures, Ken, that you haven't painted, you've got 2 weeks and we'll show them. And I know Dom's going to be on it. I'm going to be painting up some more. If you haven't got any you want to have a go, their service is incredibly good. They're
You'll
like
have
here,
them
like,
within
like
2
the
days.
next day.
Ridiculous.
And you fancy having a go, then do that. But also on top of that, we have a game of Burrows and Badgers at CrackCon, which has been put on by my mate Luke. And Luke has actually been chatting with Michael, and they have together designed a scenario just for CrackCon for you guys to try out Burrows and Badgers. And all the miniatures are there. So if you've got some miniatures and you're coming to CrackCon, bring them along. It's going to be a short scenario. There may even be some goodies for anyone who takes part. Okay, so there's no reason to not have a go at some Badger madness. I'm sure some people will think of a reason not to go, but we'll get you, Sean. We'll find a way. Alex, I can see you definitely having a go. Anyway, everyone, so do have a go at that, and we will see what comes up. I'm very much looking forward to that. Oh, is that the end of the show? No. Right, on to the. On to the main topic, which is, so you want to start a YouTube channel. So rather than sort of going through the sort of why do we start, when you chaps did it, what's the hardest thing? So when you're going through and you're setting up, because obviously a lot of it's done off your Google name and you've got to pick your channel name. Rather than saying that, what did you actually think? First of all, what was the hardest bit about setting up your channel? Did you find? What was the hardest thing? Was it the equipment? Was it? We'll talk about the different bits of equipment we use. We'll talk about that. But what was it? Was it? Did you do do a whole load of research before you got into it? Or what was your Ken? What was the hardest thing for you when you were setting up the channel?
Probably choosing my first video. Really, what I wanted to do for my first video. That was quite hard, to be fair.
Sorry, I've just seen Alex's comment. I don't think you can write that, dude. I think that counts as like a hate crime. I know you can write that.
I love badgers. This is a badger-friendly zone.
Alex, did you ever watch the Animals of Farthing Wood when you were younger? Did you used to break the TV when the badger came on?
No, he was there. He was behind General Woundwort. He was the man behind General Woundwort. He would. Sorry, Ken, carry on. So your first video.
Yeah, so my first video is probably the hardest thing, is deciding what I was going to do it about after setting up the channel. Well, actually, tell a lie. Probably the hardest was the channel name. Channel name was probably the hardest. Trying to come up with a channel name.
Did you have other ones that you didn't?
Yeah, loads. Yeah.
Like what? Any?
Well, it was me and Liam at first, wasn't it? So we were trying to come up with names for the channel per se. So I'm trying to think. We wanted to incorporate like the word miniature, and we wanted wargaming in it as well. And we wanted something, you could break into an acronym like 3 words. It was quite difficult, to be fair. We wanted to think, what would you type into Google? What would you type into YouTube to get miniatures up? You would type in miniatures, wouldn't you, normally? Or,
Yeah.
So I think I'm trying to remember now. We did have other names. So, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure I've got them written down somewhere.
What was your very first video? Like, I'm sure I have one. What was your very, very first? Was it a contrast painting one, or was it?
No. Yeah, no. It was actually about. I think it was about FOMOing into the hobby. I've got a feeling. Yeah, I think it was. I'm gonna have to have a look now. It's gonna annoy the shit out of me.
I mean, obviously, I've watched it.
Unless I deleted it.
I can't remember.
No, me, I probably deleted it. That's really going to annoy me now, Martin. What was my first video?
Well, while Ken is plunging the archives of miniature wargaming, it's a bit like that scene in Indiana Jones where they have the box. He's got to go in there, and it's just in reverse. He's got to find it. Well, Steve, what about you? What was the hardest thing when you say, I'm going to do YouTube? Was it the same as Ken? Was it thinking of a video? Was it releasing the video? I've seen a couple of people on here, both Storm of Steel and Crossing Obstacles, have both said it's effectively releasing that first video, pushing go on there.
I think with the, because my channel wasn't originally called what it is now. When the channel originated from a Facebook page that me and my mate set up as a way of just tracking what we're working on. And back in the day, it was just called On Point Wargaming. And then I got talking to a couple of people, and I don't know how true it was. It may have just been complete crap. But someone said, oh, no, if you've got anything to do with war in your title or your tags, YouTube don't like it.
Did you know that, Ken? That would have been handy knowledge, wouldn't it?
So I was like, I don't like that. So when I spoke to a mate, I said, look, we need to come up with a better name for this. So we just changed it on Point HQ, and it kind of stuck. But I did my first 2 videos. One was a sort of a test video where I just got a camera and really, really atrociously went over some Fallschirmjäger that I'd painted. There was no talking, no nothing. It was I just wanted to know how the thing worked, how you uploaded videos, etc., etc. But the first proper sit down video I did was an unboxing for I think it was an SD KFZ 25111. It could have been,
Okay.
and it was just me unboxing it, and I think that was it. But it was, I mean, I still get it to this day. It's terrifying before you hit that publish button. You still think, am I doing the right thing here? Because I'm putting myself out there. So yeah, for me, it was really taking that plunge into actually publishing videos. I think that was the biggest thing for me, because I'd never thought about it before. But I'd say that was the biggest thing for me.
Okay. Have you found your first video, Ken?
Yeah, it was the FOMO one.
What was it? So fear of missing out.
Yeah, FOMO, and what does it mean for your hobby?
That's quite a, like, I don't want to say obscure, but that's quite, if you're looking down like this is your first video, that's a, what were your, do you remember what the salient points were?
It meant a lot to me. That was
okay.
Okay. FOMOing and realizing, how it affects us as hobbyists and how we end up buying shit we don't actually need.
Do you know how the best way to avoid that? Just don't care anymore. We were talking about that before, weren't we?
Yeah.
My first video. See, I'm trying to think I think the hardest thing, it wasn't releasing the video, because I knew I wanted to release it, because I wanted to make it, because no one had made that video, which was about the contrast paints and historicals. There wasn't one when I did it, which is why that video suddenly just it was just me trying. It wasn't even like a painting guide. It's just me painting 3 light horsemen, and I'm timing myself. So I had my work phone next to me and on camera, and I was timing it, but I didn't have a tripod or anything. So the camera that I'm filming with is propped up on some books facing down. So I think the hardest thing was, I think it was setting it up. It might have been the name, because because obviously the channel name Seventh Son, it is nothing to do with wargaming at all. And I think it was at the time was because I didn't know if I was just going to be doing wargaming or what I was going to do. When I initially made the channel, I didn't sit here and go, I'm now going to start posting lots of wargaming content. I actually just made the channel to post that video, that one video. That's why I made it. I never had these plans, and then what happened was, I started getting some questions, and then I started looking around for a couple of other videos, and I was like, oh, I didn't see this thing about the old guard, so I'll do an old guard. So I went straight in there with effectively a quasi painting video talking about a new product that had come out, and I very, very swiftly learned how aggressive people can be, especially when my second video was about how to paint the old guard, and I posted that in a Napoleonic forum.
You were off your fucking head.
Do you know what the weird thing is? To this day, and I don't understand how, because they're not. I basically this is how I get them on the table fast, and they do go on the table fast. And to this day, when I paint old guard, which I do occasionally do, that's still the method I use. And I remember, I think it was the second comment that said I hadn't painted the brass fitting on the musket. And I was like, right,
I remember you telling me about that.
Welcome to YouTube, Martin. This is how we are. The channel name was very simply just because I was listening to Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. But that was it. That was it. People have questions, why, and I've sat there often, and I thought, should I change it? I was like, no, because the thing is, I think because my name doesn't have anything, the name doesn't have wargaming or anything in it. I mean, obviously the subtitle on the channel intro and the email address does, but it's just Seventh Son, and I didn't really think Yeah. I did have one chap actually asking me, like, who obviously wasn't a fan or know about Maiden or anything like that, and, they were like, and I got this really sort of philosophical kind of like question, and I got back, I was like, no, I just like Iron Maiden, mate. It's like Iron Maiden, bud. You know, I could have, you know, one of their songs is called Charlotte the Harlot. I could have just written that. That'd have been even, you know. So okay, so that is interesting. So having a look at what people have said here. So James from Shaco said finding the time to film something was the hardest part for me. That's hard no matter when you're doing it. that doesn't get any easier unless you're Dom. Unless you're Dom, you can just crank them out because the kids have left home, and you know if you've got your shed. Graham, how are you doing, Graham? You're right, dude. His first video was during COVID. All I did was share it to my club mates what I painted. See, I can't even remember. I'm sure I just shared my first video on Facebook and sent it to a couple of mates. I can't even remember. And then I think I just left it there. I don't even think I had like the studio app or anything. I'll have to check back actually and see how it did. Friends of General Haig has a question. It's a good one. Actually, it's a fairly good one for this point in here. Why did we choose video and audio? Why did we choose like to do a podcast? Why video? Steve, why did you?
I don't know, the visual aspect, I suppose. I know you can have visuals in podcast, but I don't know. I had no real plans at the beginning. I literally had no plans, no idea, no structure. It was just sort of, I just want to do something like this. But I never appear on my videos ever. That's another thing. I know people like Dom and Leslie are now referring to me as the talking hands.
I didn't know that. That's ace.
Yeah, apparently I talk with my hands when I'm doing my videos.
Okay.
Right.
I got see I think it's about I've been doing it for about 9 months, I think, before I put my face on there. And that was purely because I was getting a whole bunch of questions, or a whole bunch of comments trying to surmise what I look like. And people reckon that I was like really old. Like really old. They were like, oh, you know, what job? And I genuinely, if you go back, you'll find questions and they're like, what did you do? What did you used to do before you retired? I was like, you what? I think one of them's from Dom. I'm pretty sure one of them. I think that's how I found his channel. I'm fairly sure he was like, "Oh, you're clearly the same generation." God. I'm like, "You what? You what, bud?" Hang on. So that's what I put. I think the first one. I think it's when I painted the Witch King on his Felby. So I think I'm literally on the screen for about 10 seconds. And I literally today we're going to paint the Witch King of Angmar, and this is my face. I'm pretty sure that's how I started the video. And then you don't see it again for a few more. What have we got?
I think
yeah. Why not? Steve, can we convince you to put your face on there?
On my channel?
Yeah. Well, you do. Actually, you do have video. You do have videos of you and your face on your channel because you do this.
Well, I mean, yes, it's different, but on my own channel. Well, me and my mate are planning some back reps later, well, sort of soon. And I think I might reverse that decision. Depends on how he feels about being on film. But no, I don't know. I never wanted to appear on
the era Mystique.
Well, yeah, sort of. I don't know. I know people. Some people have said that they prefer when you can see someone in a video. I don't. I mean, I watch a lot of videos by Ashens, and again, he's just hands for the most part.
I do both.
Yeah,
I do both. To be fair, just a little bit of both. Mortzik said his face is perfect for watching others on YouTube. I like that. So Crossing Obstacles said for him it's the visuals. I don't do massive amounts of research in my projects. Podcasts I enjoy listening to. I have much more historical, informative content. That's fair enough, actually. That is a good question. I'd never really actually thought about it that much. I think because my first video was talking about the contrast paints, I could have just kind of babbled on, but my thing was how quickly will these actually paint up a light horseman? And I painted 3 horsemen in like half an hour or something like that. Like they will do it. They do it, and then it just kind of went from from there. Cardroga says the hardest thing is listening to your own voice waffle on, and does anyone understand Geordie anyway? I understand it now, but yeah, when I get my ear in, when I go up there to see, but it took me ages to work out what canny meant. When I realised when they said you're really canny, and I thought they were insulting me. I was getting really offended. Although I do have an argument with them about whether it's naan bread or nan bread. That happens every time I go. Is it nan bread or naan bread? It's bloody naan bread.
Can I wade in on? Can I wade in on this?
Yeah,
as I am.
If you say you are Indian, part Indian.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I know.
It's naan.
It's got two A's, so it has to be naan.
It's pronounced naan, not nan.
Just in case anyone who realizes Ken is part Indian, believe that or not, I have quizzed him extensively on this because I didn't believe him, and I've seen the evidence.
I almost when I found out, I literally almost fell off my chair.
Yeah,
John Sobry, you get a gold star. You get a gold star. It's not my favorite Maiden album, but it's one of my favorite Maiden albums. My favorite is Parasite.
The internet with that mine. Do you know what they called me at work? They called me the Ginger Indian Reverend.
That sounds like a 1970s psychedelic rock band.
I know, it's a great name, isn't it? That's what I should have called my YouTube channel.
What, the ginger? What was it? The ginger Reverend.
Yeah, that's what I should have called my YouTube channel.
Wow! Wait till I'm way up in the comments, so I can't wait till we are going to let that sink in. Don't let that sink in.
Oh dear. The comments have just died.
So probably Martin, a friend of mine, made Iron Maiden's Red Jacket stage costumes. Really? Is your friend still friends with them? Does your friend have access to Iron Maiden? Because I know a friend who would really like that. Everyone's just talking about Steve. Yes, in the parallel universe, someone who's introducing your YouTube podcast as "Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter." It was Steve. Leslie says, "Steve, you have done a couple of videos straight to camera."
I have. I swear I haven't. There are
you now need to dredge your archives, dude.
I know, because I honestly haven't. I cannot recall. I think it's just mostly outside of this podcast. You mostly see my hands, and that's it. That's it, really.
Travis, we don't show each other because I don't trust my opponent with a camera. That has a lot to do with it, actually. And that's not because obviously I play games with Robin and Ken and no, Haley will break it. But I don't even like other people driving, okay, let alone using my kit, because if something does go wrong, I don't want to be annoyed with them or upset. I'd rather just do it. And I don't even think necessarily. I'm sure that because I always try to set up the boards, because if you notice, I'm usually on the same side of the table. That's because the lighting is better. Because when the game I play against Ken, it's the other way around, and it was bugging me. We were playing our game, and our game lasted 4 hours, and I was getting so irritated. I mean, I won, so it was all fine. But I was getting so angry. So let's there's loads of people on here.
Salty, didn't you?
I did get a little bit. So, all right, now we're down to here. Friends of General Haig. Let's go through this. We might as well have a look at this. There's pretty much nothing King could say that I wouldn't have to believe. Ginger Indian reference as like a character from a Spike Milligan show. And Martin, I'm afraid not. She's a historical costume. Damn. Robin, you're far too clumsy to be trusted. I'm just scared you'd hurl stuff at me. And Storm Steel, that's what tripods are for. That is what tripods are for. So speaking of tripods, let's talk kit. So I'm guessing for pretty much all of us, our kit has evolved while we've been doing YouTube, because of course there's big YouTubers we get. What is the kit? Let's talk sound. Let's talk sound. What microphone are you using, Steve? What are you using now?
At the moment,
what did you start with, and then what are you using now?
I started because when I do my channel videos, my camera's got an inbuilt mic into it, so I don't have an external.
Right.
But when I first started off, I had this little clippy on thing. It cost about £7 or £8 from Amazon. And what I used to do was I'd start making a video and I'd forget to clip the microphone on.
Oh no, you're
Oh,
joking.
no.
So you just hear this disembodied sort of echoey voice rather than actually hit the microphone. But the microphone I'm using tonight, and I've had it for about a year now, is this.
It's not bad, your mic now, is it? It's quite
When he plugs the bugger in, it's brilliant.
When I remember to plug it in. Where are we? Here we go. So that's my mic. It's a Toner TC30.
I love the floaty cable that like just sits up like a cobra behind it.
It takes great telekinetic power to keep that there. I'm like, concentrate. But yeah, that's why I use that for the podcast. But I use the inbuilt mic in my camera. I think two things is for me: audio and lighting. If you get them right, you're winning straight away. Audio can kill a video. It really can.
That's what I was gonna say. Would you guys agree that good audio can save a bad video? Well, not say a bad video, but a poor quality, say a poor video quality.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Good audio would say, it's one of the things I swear about the most when he's trying to get the audio balance right, and also because YouTube, if you're doing YouTube, and I don't know if this affects anyone else, when YouTube uploads your videos and it compresses them, sometimes it just screws your audio, especially if your audio is on like a separate track or something like that. It can really bugger about with it. So you play around a lot with this. What your audio is really clear. Ken, what do you use? Because you use the same as Dom, don't you? Or Dom uses the same as you, rather.
Yeah. So I've got a Blue Yeti USB mic in front of me. I used to use H1N Zoom.
I'm zooming in on you just so they can see the mic.
On a Rode boom arm, just to stop the interference and the tap, all that sort of stuff. I used to use a H1N Zoom, which is it might actually still be behind here. Let me see. God. Where are you?
Alex is with you. He's representing the Blue Yeti as well.
Well, it's a good valued microphone for the price.
And how much is it? What are you talking?
It's just I pay. Obviously, I didn't pay brand new price. I got it secondhand on Facebook for 40 quid.
Right. So if you were buying that retail, Ken,
100.
how much would you have?
£100.
Steve, how much is? Should probably say because we are talking about getting set up. What is? How much was your mic, dude?
My mic was 20. No, I think it was 30 quid.
Okay. That's the other microphone that I started with. I think this audio on
I remember that.
The H1N. The only reason I stopped using it is because the USB kept playing up and it got faulty. So I could probably open it up and fix it, but I just really can't be bothered. Probably just needs to resolder, to be fair. I might actually do it at some point. But the audio on this is actually better than I think the Blue Yeti. And this is really good for taking around. Well, I can still use this for conventions. So I take it around and do interviews and stuff like that. But that
chase really people away with it.
But yeah, no, this was really good for interviewing people, and I'll still use it now. And it is good for that. But it was, it's got a lot more settings, so you can set audio quality and stuff. But this one's like 80 quid new.
Okay,
it does both. You just got to be delicate with that port, pretty much. But yeah, no, this is good. I like this for what it is. To be fair, it's pretty straightforward, user friendly, and simple.
Okay, until recently I used some crap thing from Argos, and it doesn't even have any numbers on it, so I can't even tell you what it is. But for my birthday, because it was slowly built up, so I use the NPM 1000U by Marantz, which is it's effectively like a singer's microphone. I think it's 5 million for so that's what that's about. What?
An XLR cable. Haley will know what that
USB.
is.
Yeah, no, she's. Oh no, I just use USB. No.
Oh, you just use USB.
So I just use one of those on I've got a toner boom arm. Toner also quite a good. Hang on, let me just bring this down. So is it going to go? Don't break. There we go. So I've got a toner boom arm on that, which is just attached to up here. That's quite heavy duty actually. That's taking a bit of punch.
The audio definitely sounds better when it's right next to your mouth, doesn't it? With that, you can tell.
This one, yeah, over here, yeah. It's just above my head here.
Jesus, Martin, that was like ASMR then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So whenever you talk into a microphone like this, it's so much better than when you sit back.
Oh, Ken, start eating some biscuits close to the microphone.
French drummers.
French drummers.
So, out of curiosity, probably going to ask this: whose audio here does actually sound the best from the? I say the best. Whose is the clearest for the listeners? Obviously, a lot of stuff can have a factor. Like, obviously, I've got my microphone just above my head.
Yeah, when you look up and speak into it, yours sounds very clear. If you directly speak in.
I was going to say something horrible about you then, and while I spoke into it, but I won't. So, all right then. So, stop seal. Someone's just put moist. Basically, what I've
everyone's telling you now needs to move your mic now needs to come down and sit in front of your face properly now.
Right, hang on. There we go. How about that? Can you hear me? How's that? Just put it in my face. Hello. Right, it's going there until I can sort this out properly.
Can you not do the boom arm the other way up? So like how I've got mine.
I can't get it on the deck. There's nowhere to clip it.
No, I mean the actual the swivel. Does it not go 180 so you can go lower with it?
Probably. But I'm not going to do that at the minute because I'm sticking together Zulus and it'll get in the way.
I'll be first. I'll be first,
exactly. Always. All right then. Okay, so that's audio. So yeah, this microphone is about 50, 55, although I just looked and I saw it, seen it on offer somewhere for $39.99 for another 2 days.
It's good mic, good mic for that price.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. And I do when I do the voiceover for the videos, for like the painting videos and the history videos and that, and I just use this. Obviously, I speak directly into it when I'm doing that because it's not just sitting above my face. All right then. So let's switch things around then. So how did you guys decide what video editor you were going to use? Did you just, because to begin with, I edit my video on my phone using whatever Android one was there.
I can't believe you did that. That was crazy. How the hell? How you had patience for that? I have no idea.
Do you know? I did that for 10 months. And then it was when I did my first battle report, which was the very, very first Wars of the Roses one. And I looked at it, I was like, there's no way I could edit a battle report on my phone. Not the way I want to do them anyway. So, but yeah, all those painting videos, those first, if you look at the paint, all of that, all my first videos that was all done on my phone.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That's all done on my phone. And there was a lot of swearing. An awful lot of swearing.
I bet there was. Mine, I did a lot of research in, to be fair. I did a hell of a lot of research. I probably spent a good part of 2 weeks probably looking for the right software, trying different ones out. I wanted a free software. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to pay for it. So I wanted to try, because I didn't know I was going to do it properly. So I didn't want to spend money on a software that I didn't think I would use after the first time. Just see, because I've done a bit of editing in school, because we used I did music in school, and I just remember using DaVinci Resolve. I just remember it, and so I googled it and I was like, oh, we do a free version of that. And I was like, oh, let's have a look at that, and I just started playing about with it, looking up things to do. I still don't know how to use it all completely properly. I would like to probably go over to the software you're using now, you and Steve use.
Filmora.
Filmora, yeah. I probably will want to go and do that. If I start doing videos properly again, which I'm sure I will by the end of the year, I want something that's a bit easier, because you guys can seem to bang out videos pretty quick. It takes me
Filmora is, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're starting out, there are Crossing Obstacles, Lazy Pirate has just said, there are free video editors out there. There's brilliant. I'd say don't worry about like when you're editing to begin with. Don't worry about like looking up editing software. Just go get a free one and just put it together, because all of them will have simple cuts and transitions. They'll probably have things in there where you have to pay. A lot of them come with a watermark. But you can have there's other programs that will remove that for you. you can get rid of those. But if you have a look around, there are quite a few. Filmora that I used. I can't even remember how I found. I wanted something with an easy interface. So Steve, because I'll put this up because obviously me and you are using the same one.
DaVinci Resolve is not a easy user-friendly bit of software.
I'm going to put up Steve's. So Steve's put. Here we go. This is what we use. We use and want to share Filmora. So and you can try it for free, and you do get, even with the free version, you get a lot of features, don't you? Yes. Like, you know, I tried it to see if I'd like it, and I did, and then I sprung for it, and I think it was 70 quid. But that's a lifetime license. That's it, and it upgrades automatically. So that's more than paid for itself in, well, just, you know, an amount that I've used the bloody thing. But I've also used it for because I've made some videos for people's birthdays that people have asked me to. Haley's even used it for some bits of her singing, like just recording audio. It is a really, really good bit of software, and the interface. So you did that, so I decided just to find some. So the interface is just so straightforward. It is easy to use, and it's got a huge library of stuff that is always updating and is always available as well. Obviously, there's some pay stuff on there as well. I think I paid for like a Wild West gun sound, and it was like 28p or something. Like it wasn't very, very much, and you don't have to pay for everything. But there is loads of stuff on there, so it's definitely something I'd recommend. And
definitely looks user friendly.
And also there is loads of support on YouTube for it. There is loads of tutorials about how to do different things and different effects, how to link it, how to do dissolve, like when any kind of new. I mean, this obviously it doesn't matter for wargaming. I don't know, maybe you do want to do it. How to do like different effects that you see in films, like some dissolve effect from Doctor Strange or something like that. How to make the Matrix, right? You know, and it doesn't mean anything to me. I don't need it for that. But what I did need was where I wanted to do stuff with overlays and moving overlays. So if you want to do things like keyframing, so in the last game, my 0-200 hours game against Robin, you actually effectively had that animation on the screen where the counters actually move around with the image. It's called keyframing, and there's a whole really, really easy way to do it where effectively you just draw on the screen where you want the thing to go, and then it'll animate it. So, you know, that if you want to do that kind of thing, which for wargaming is quite handy, especially if you want to like put arrows and things like that showing where troops have moved, then I found that quite easy. So it's definitely definitely some software that I'd recommend. Let's have a look at the chat. We've got some questions. I can see that in there. Shakos is suggesting I just strap my microphone to my head. Yeah, and Storm of Steel, Filmora all the way. Absolutely. And he taught himself the basics on the Windows Movie Maker nearly 2 decades ago. I remember Windows Movie Maker. Shako says he uses DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere Pro. I know someone else. Was it Dom used to? Did Dom used to use Adobe? Was he still using Adobe?
I think he did, yeah.
He keeps on saying he'll come over to Filmora. Lazy Pirate says you guys put a lot of effort and time into your channels. Probably. I don't know. Do I? I don't think I do. I feel like I don't. I feel like I should probably put more effort into it.
I feel like over the past over the past sort of 14, 15 months. I mean, last year for me, I didn't put any effort in. I had other things I was doing. But I think just going back to Filmora, I think for me, that's changed now. When I used to make a video, I dreaded the editing because I used to use 2 or 3 different free editing software packages. And I always found that one did one thing well, and another did another thing well, but they didn't both do the same thing really well. But when I first started using Filmora, it was just like a light had gone off in my head. It is. I know Martin's talked about it. It's just such an intuitive and easy piece of software to use, and it's literally changed how I make videos.
This podcast is not sponsored by Filmora.
It's not sponsored by Filmora.
No, not at all.
We just look. It was last year. Martin recommended it, so I thought, well, I've never heard of it. So I just checked out YouTube and I looked at a few of the tutorials, and I thought, for a Luddite like me, that looks like really easy work to do. So I think it was just after I think it was my first YouTube payment. I used some of the money to go out and buy it. And like I say, I paid about 70 quid for the lifetime license.
Yeah.
And I remember, did I send you a message on the afternoon when I bought it?
You
and
did,
I was like,
yes.
This is the best software I have ever used.
You did. You said because you made your new channel intro. I remember.
Yes.
Like 3 minutes or something.
It was
like that.
ridiculously easy how quickly you can make things on that.
I've already just installed the free version while we've been talking. I'm having a look at some of the templates, and I'm like, shit, this looks very easy to use.
The template.
And I'm going to show you now just one of my videos. So this is DaVinci Resolve. Okay, so all the editing stuff I go through. Can you see this? Yeah.
Can I just say, that looks horrendous. Like not your video, but just that interface makes that
interface would make me run for the hills. So,
like your edit side of things, you go. So if I went to deliver, right, I'd normally see something like this, yeah.
Yeah.
So this would be like my thing with tracks and all that down there. But to actually physically go in and start messing about, I can't even click that now. It's bloody StreamYard 2 secs. Sorry. Just move that over there. No, yep.
And now you've presented the issues very, very well.
No, I can't do it because bloody street. Oh, wait there. Hide that. There you go. That's better. So if I go into edit mode, so this is my editing stuff. Okay. So these are all clips of videos where I've done cuts. So this is like here, if we just played here, I have to time stuff. I like there's a cut there. That's an individual thing. Cut coming out, an individual thing. And then it comes in, and then I have to do another fade to another cut.
I mean, you just in Filmora, you just drag the fade onto the main track.
Yeah.
You just have to. You can introduce your cuts. You just drop those in, but you cut it manually. That's really, really easy. And then you just drag the fade on straight away, and it can all be on one track.
So if I want to fuck about with all the color balance and stuff, it's all in here. So there's all these different options, but I have to go through each individual set and do it like that. Firelight's like the editing stuff afterwards. Fusion. If I want to do like fusion stuff, that again is even more complicated.
This is giving me chest pains.
But this is just basic. This is like audio. So if I wanted to add, like here, I've got vocals and limiter on. So if I play that track, and then all of a sudden I can go in with the vocal, I can delete the plugin and it will completely sound different.
Right.
All right, there you go. You can drop it in, and it just you can see everything.
I'm not gonna lie, right? You have just done an amazing advert for why I will never use that piece of software.
It's taken a lot to learn, dude. Honest to God, it's taken a lot to learn. And this is only the free version as well.
Yeah,
so,
try out Filmora, dude. It's good. I mean, something that's probably. I mean, obviously, I started with Filmora, but I guess if I didn't have it, what I could always do is take the footage of one of my old videos and try and edit a video again and just see how I found it
but
again.
Like Steve said, right? So for me, that's only the video edit inside. That's not the audio. So for audio, I'd have to record separately on Audio City. Because I have to record it through USB.
Does that not have a?
Nope.
You can record, because so Filmora has a direct USB recorder in it.
Can't record directly onto it. So I have to record a separate. I have to record a separate audio file. Link
use Filmora.
Use
Filmora.
But then I've got to sync it as well. So that's the other thing.
Filmora, you're gonna love this. Filmora, if you've got a separate audio track, and you want to spring for it, I don't know how much more it costs. So I was looking, if you want to spring for it, it will auto sync your audio.
That does sound good.
Yeah. So just because this kind of leads to it, Mortsick has asked, what's the time ratio for filming and editing? Depends entirely on the type of video. Hobby updates take longer to film than they do to edit because you're just introducing a few cuts, and unless you're introducing graphics, then not a great deal. A battle report, on the other hand, if we take, for example, if you take one of my Wars of the Roses battle reports, there'll be about 3.5 hours of footage, which I edit down. They'll be getting longer, but generally to 90, between 60 and 90 minutes. And you'll end up, the last one had 780 individual clips after I'd sort of cut it about and stuff like that. So it can be quite atrocious. Although the battle reports still don't take ages to edit, because for me, I don't know about you guys, but you're just flowing through it, or you're just going through the battle report, and you don't tend to go back. You don't go back over anything. Once you've done that, well, zoomed in on that dice roll, and it depends on what you're doing. If you watch my games, then I zoom in on the dice in the dice tray every time the dice are rolled, or I try to. It really bugs me when I watch a video back and I miss it. It really, really, really irritates me. So I tried to zoom in on the dice. Now, if you think, in a melee, for example, I'd roll 7 dice, then the opponent rolls 7 dice, and I roll 5 dice, and they roll 5 dice, then I'm taking the break test. That's 5 sets of dice rolls, and you're zooming in. So that's 5 different cuts. So that's what takes the time. But for things like the painting videos, they could probably take the longest editing time, because I like to put little graphics on the screen about what paint I'm using.
Ages to edit. They're like the things that, like you say, you put little overlays on. They just take ages. Can take 6 hours sometimes to edit a painting video. Yeah,
absolutely. What about you, Steve? What do you find takes? What type takes the longest for you?
I don't know. I mean, the video I did on Saturday, so it's only 8-9 minutes long. I filmed it in one take, which is something that I rarely ever do. I always cough or burp or make some mistakes. I've got to start and go back to the beginning. But the editing for that took, I don't know. And the whole video took an hour to make, all in. And that's filming it, editing, downloading, doing the thumbnail, doing the script, the comments thing, and getting it uploaded. It took an hour to do. So sometimes you're lucky, sometimes it takes a bit longer.
Names says it all, dude. Names says it all. So Leslie is just asked sort of onto this. I think we talked about this. So has the stuff on YouTube become another hobby? I'd say yes for me, definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it costs money. Let's put it that way. It ain't cheap. Some of the stuff.
But it's enjoyable, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
it is. It's. And I think Travis mentioned it before about the video editing side. It's a hobby in itself.
Oh yeah,
and I like that because it's something I've had to teach myself. I've looked at tutorials and things, but it's something that I just learn. I just enjoy doing. So I enjoy the finding out what works. I mean, film more is a great example. I love finding out what effects work on there, what don't, what effects don't.
Absolutely.
And I think. There's definitely a sense of when that video's done and it's all there's definitely a sense of satisfaction about it as well. You've created something, and it could be the most simple video in the world, but you've actually created something and it's yours. It's unique. I think for me that's one of the best parts about having a YouTube channel.
Definitely. Storm of Steel Alex has just in reply said, yeah, people don't understand the amount of work that goes into making videos. It is true. I mean, it's not. We'll do some news in a minute. We'll come back to it. And we'll talk about monetization and things like that. Just so I don't know if anyone does have any preconceptions about it, but just so you know what it is like. But it doesn't. I mean, you put these videos out, and you're definitely it's a labor of love, isn't it? You do it because we enjoy it. I certainly am doing it because I find it a good release. I weirdly find it relaxing to make the videos and to put them out. And I enjoy interacting with people and seeing what they get out of the videos. And I just like sharing what I've been doing. Until I started doing YouTube, my hobby was very. I don't want to use the term insular because I don't mean that in a I don't want to go and see people. But it was just me. My hobby was based between me and maybe a maximum of 5 other people. And now we've got this awesome community. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Thank you again on the replay. And we've also got and I play games with loads of different people from loads of different settings. So it's cool. Friends of General Haig, I've seen your question. I'm going to hold that question till just after the news. So I'm going to hopefully not lose it. What we're going to do, I'm going to put the question up.
Oh, excuse me.
And that way, I won't forget about it.
You
What
won't.
have you just done? But so Fraser John Hay says, do you use your YouTube channel name on the other social medias like Facebook and Twitter? Do you just exist on social media as a channel, or are you split between you and the channel? Oh, we might as well answer this now, actually. I exist as both. I use my name on Instagram and I use it on YouTube. I don't have a Discord or anything like that for the channel yet, although I keep on getting asked to do one. And I don't have a Twitter account because I don't understand. I don't understand Twitter. It's taken me a year to work out how to do Instagram. So, so no. What about you guys?
I've got Instagram, Facebook, no Twitter because I just don't see the point in it personally. But there we go. Steve's like, "Damn you, sir!"
No. To be fair, I've got. So I use. I've got my own Facebook group on Facebook. Clearly, I use Instagram. I use Twitter. Twitter is a strange beast. If I've mainly in the gaming community on Twitter, and there's some fantastic people on there with some brilliant work, and everyone. I know Twitter can be.
I feel like there's a but coming.
No, but I know Twitter can be like a complete toxic cesspit at times, and it's something that I only joined Twitter during the pandemic because I thought I'm going to be stuck in for months with no very few outlets. So that's when I joined Twitter, and I'd say 99.9% of my activity on Twitter is wargaming related. I use it sometimes to make complaints to companies because that's the best way to get someone's attention these days is on Twitter. But for the most part, it's just the wargaming content, and I don't venture outside that. And I spend a lot of time on Twitter as well, blocking, or I don't want to see these. So it definitely has its function, and I'd like to think people know it's an extension of me. For me, on Twitter, it's not my personal Twitter; it's my channel's Twitter. If that makes sense. So you won't find me railing on there about politics or sport or any kind of shit like that. It's just for me, my content is just wargaming because it's an extension of my channel, and it's you use it the way you want to use it. You get a lot from it, but like Ken said though, sometimes it can be a bit of a hole.
Right. Absolutely. All right. What about you, Ken? You've got you have a Facebook group, don't you, Ken? Miniature Wargaming
Yeah, I've
Warriors.
got to admit, I've not really used it for quite a while now. Probably over a year. I've used the more the Plastic Crack podcast.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Why would you need any other Facebook group than the Plastic Crack Podcast Facebook group? And if you're not a member of the Plastic Crack Podcast Facebook group, then come and join us over there. Answer Dom's questions free, although he's not here tonight, so you might just get in. We might just click yes. Who knows? He knows. Well, what we'll do, because Dom is probably going to be listening to this number, probably going to get a text message in a second going, what are you doing? So let's skip over to some news. Let's go with some news and then we'll come back to it. So thank you very much, everyone. So did you chaps see anything in the news, or is it all down to me?
It's all down to you as usual, mate.
I thought it's moving down to Dom. I've made a bit of a, but I've made an effort, right? So now Warren sent these to me. So there's a Kickstarter going on. There are Victoria Miniatures Halfling Snipers, which I think do look ace. So for those people that play things like Stargrave or other little game, I don't know. I guess you can use them in 40k if you play 40k. I don't know what they're Rattlings. That's it. And they're Rattlings.
They're Rattlings.
Yes,
that's what. Yes. When I saw them, I thought, yeah, they're Rattlings.
Absolutely, they look very, very cool. So anyway, there is that. Now here's one for you, Ken. You're not going to like me for this. So you remember the game we played, Conquest, and I keep trying.
Yes.
So, dude. So obviously you like Romans, proper Romans as you call them, right? And I've shown you that they've done a faction on there, which is basically proper undead, proper Romans. Well, this is an undead proper Roman with some kind of crazy reliquary.
What the hell?
That is the profane reliquary. Reliquary. It's the thing on the end of the stick. But I thought
really,
that looked
really awesome.
And would that count as something fancy for OPC? So so he's about 38 mil, and that's what, twice as high as him, nearly twice as high as him.
That is very nice.
They are very, very nice. So Ken, this faction has got your name all over it. Undead Romans, dude. Undead Romans. And to be fair, again, I had fun. Were you on here when you weren't on here, were you, the week that I pointed out that
they're not One Piece, though, are they? They're not One Piece.
Some of them aren't. Some of them are.
Look at him.
You weren't here, were you? When I the rules for the new edition are free.
Really?
It's all free because they're updating it.
Honestly?
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Because it's 2 games in one.
It is.
Thing, isn't it? Yeah. So they're all free, and they're releasing a 2-player start set, dude. If you want to go, just saying, might have to go halves. Anyway, so for some people who like the, hang on, it's not the Windy Boat game. It's the boat game with engines.
The
Victory at Sea. Warlord Games have released a whole bunch of other ships, and because to me. And I know I'm going to get shot down in flames. This HMS Hindi. Look, basically,
I don't even know what that is. It's like a
right. So basically, there's a whole load of new ships and bombers. To me, they all look exactly the same. So it's Merchant Navy. I was going through. I was loading all these pictures. And I was like, I've just loaded 10 pictures. They all look exactly. They all look the same. They all look the same.
It's Royal Navy. It might be a troop transport ship.
It does look cool. So for those of you who are into that game, you've got some reinforcements coming. So do go with it. That game is again, it's not something that I have any interest in. But you guys seem to enjoy it. And to be fair, I think is it doing a lot better than, or maybe it's doing better than I thought it would. Not because I thought it was going to shop, but it's doing quite well, isn't it? It does seem to have been a win for them. Yeah,
it's not doing too bad, to be fair. I think it's doing okay.
I think it's doing a bit better than the what was the other one? Was it Cruel Seas? The one with the
Cruel Seas.
Yeah. See, I liked Cruel Seas. I enjoyed that. I absolutely enjoyed that. I'm so far behind on the comments. I'm so sorry. So sorry. I will get back into science. So next thing, the next wave of releases for the Silver Bayonet has been shown off. So here we have got a Lady Hussar, I believe it is, or a Lady Cossack. So if you're into the Silver Bayonet, go check out North Star's site. There's a whole set of releases, along with it's a British Lady Hussar, and then we've got a British Grenadier. Which are all very cool. It is a game I could very easily get into this game, but which is why I'm not going to do it. I'd be more tempted to get it and use the bloody miniatures for an ECW version of it. That's what I'd be up for. Speaking of bloody miniatures, so Dom showed off last week their first new pack that are coming out, and he's released images of the next 3. So here we have the Flying Pickets. So these are basically a bunch of dragoons that are hiding in the bushes about ready to snipe people. And they're very, very nice. I mean, it's just what you come to expect, really. Chunky pieces. There you go, Ken. 1-piece cast metals. And they are very, very nice. He also has the village people. Now, that's what he's called. The village. Now they come with an assortment of sticks and like onion hose and pitchforks and all that, so you can arm them as a proper mob, basically. So I think they could be quite fun, just introduced into a regiment. You look at this lovely ordered pike line, and then you've got the angry Gran with a pitchfork. I think that would be ace. And then actually speaking about Angry, he's done this one, which I think was ace actually. The Gallant Ladies, because there are records, or they of sort of ladies of the house defending their sort of stately homes with some of the troops that are in there. And I think I really, really like the one that's loading, the third one the second one from the right. I really like that mini. I think that's a really, really cool mini. In fact, I'd probably say my, I won't say our least favourite, because they're all cool. I actually think the ones that are in the dress it like as the ladies are awesome. That one there reminds me of Miranda Richardson from Blackadder in the episode which was the highway. So yeah, that's my news for this week. Other than that, of course, if you're coming to CrackCon, there's tickets. We've extended the number of tickets, so please come and get it. CrackCon free, and actually off the back of that, I'm going to share a picture because we post them up all the time. We're going to have to start paying him royalties, I think. The t-shirts for CrackCon are available, and you too could look like this. Absolutely stunning. That is our friend Matt Mail, as stunning as ever. Now Matt Mail and Tim are going to be putting on a Franco-Prussian war game. My favorite comment on this is, shouldn't the crack be on the back? That was my favorite comment when I saw it. So you got links down below to the apparel, for the gig merch, whatever you want to call it. Have a look down there. There are still tickets, and guys, head over to the Facebook page, have a look at the list of games. We are fully booked. In fact, we've got a reserve list of games as well, which is crazy. So we've got everything from 40mm ACW. We've got a big game that the Yorkshire game is putting on, and people are signing up for it, and we don't actually know what he's doing. So who knows what you're going to get? You're taking it's a bit of a lucky dip what you're going to get with him. We've also got Wars of the Roses, English Civil War. We still need some more players for English Civil War for Parliament. So come over there. I'm sure there's going to be enough people on the day. And of course, we've got a big selection of skirmish type games this time, just for some fast games. So we've got 0-200 hours that I'm running, Slain that Paul Richardson is running, Fury in What a Tanker, which I think Andy's running and Steve's going to be playing, and we have and as I say, we have Luke who's putting on Burrows and Badgers, which is going to come with its own challenge and its own specially designed scenario just for CrackCon. I have no idea what it's going to be about. I kind of worry about what it's going to be about, to be honest. I don't know about you guys. Anyway, so let's have a look at the comments, because apparently I have 35 unread comments.
Lovely stuff.
I know. So let's go through, because what's going to happen is it's going to get back, and then we've got a couple more questions just to go through before we get into it. Steve says he's not bothered about. Don't tell me that. I don't want to know. Steve, don't tell me that, dude. I put them in the battle reports. You're that one person in that bloody survey that said they didn't like seeing them, isn't it? That's you. That was you.
Oh yeah.
So John says, as he's learning a new system, I really appreciate a full run through battle report, as I can hear all the steps as the game is played. To be honest, I tried to take a bit of them. I would. Some people have asked me, I don't know if I could actually go through the orders phase. I just think it's just going to be so dull. It would just be so boring. I can't be bothered. It's going to. I just think because when I speed it up, because it takes like 15-20 minutes sometimes to go through it. I think if I sat there, mate. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Graham says he loves putting these videos out. I reflect on the game. If there is plenty of banter, even better. Absolutely. If you get that perfect moment, like when the two people you're playing against finally kill the unit that's been murdering them all game, and they nearly flip the table in excitement. That was quite a good moment. Robin Miller, I hope you're well. Shaco said when he does his show highlight videos, they take 2 to 3 hours to edit. Yeah. See, I cheated for Salute. I just kind of showed off what I bought and then some stills of the show. That was the. I should probably do a proper show report. But to be honest, with you doing them and like Alex doing them, I was like, am I actually going to be able to add anything to this? What else have we got down here? Red Steph says he doesn't understand why people have several platforms that all do the same thing. I kind of agree. I think that's just why I do Instagram and YouTube, and also because I can't work out how to use the other platforms. I'm a bit of a dinosaur on those for some reason. Where are we? Storm Steel said, "Is this just weird shit?" I assume that was when I put up the is this the weird shit week? No, that'll be in a couple of weeks. But we're going to embrace the weird shit for a week. It's all good. It's all coming from the same place.
Weird shit.
It's all coming from the same place. And then what's it? Weird shit is taken over. I think Wargaming is just the weird shit, isn't it? We are the weird shit. Why haven't we got a T-shirt that just says weird shit? Anyway, now you're going to upset all the naval players. Probably. I think I upset them quite a long time ago. So people saying, I can't repeat some of this.
No.
No, I can't. I'm just gonna go for it. John has put, I thought the flying pickets were a band. If they're not, then they definitely should be.
They were an is it a cappella band? They did a Christmas song.
You and Leslie are on the same wavelength. You and Leslie did on the same wavelength. Absolutely.
What was it? Only You. That was it.
Absolutely.
God, show my age tonight, aren't I?
Battle Matt, dude, you are the model. You do look relentlessly cool in that, and it's just done that thing where it's all gone to the bottom. Someone's just put it in something involves a teddy. I'm not. Oh, that will be the.
Me. Kenny and Teddy, no weird shit.
To be fair, Robin says he doesn't like seeing some of my roles, but that's only because he's already seen them once. Seen the first
Can't
time.
be that painful, can he?
No. And yep, there we go. So anyway, let's just whip round. I've got a couple of things I wanted to ask you guys. Steve, when it comes to your camera, what are you using now?
I am using this. Every now and again you've got to treat yourself to something if you can. I
thought that was why you bought that weird beer.
No, that's just sustenance. That's not weird. It just looks and tastes funny. So yes, last year I took the decision to fully get a new camera to do recording on, and I use this, which is the Canon. Brilliant. It was Dom that recommended it to me. I think he uses the version just before that one. I think he uses that to film his battle reports with.
Yeah, he does.
And I was looking all over the place for a decent camera because my niece has got a YouTube channel and her camera is about 1 million times better than mine, and it still is. She's got a really expensive sort of artsy one. So I just thought, no, I'm going to use it because Dom said, it's really good. For me, the main thing is it needs to have a good zoom function. It needs to be like a crisp and easy to use, but also with an internal mic. And I was a bit worried, so I did a bit of research, and everyone who used it said the internal mic is brilliant. And I was still a bit, but when I did my first video using that camera with Filmora, I was like, yes, this is it for me. I've found my perfect combination of things, and yeah, it really worked well. So that's the camera I use.
Is it 4K? Is it 4K, that camera?
I think so. But I'm still using the same crappy tripod that I've had for the past 4 years. That was about £10 from Amazon. But it's a dead simple tripod. It screws on the camera screws on it really, really simply. But for me, I knew I was reaching a point where, because I used to record off this webcam that I'm using now.
Oh yes, I remember you did say, yeah.
And it was okay. The only problem I had was because I was using the webcam with an external mic, there was audio sort of floating. So by the end of the video, the audio was normally 10 seconds ahead of the video, and it was a complete pain in the arse getting it all sorted out. So I just thought last year I need to. I've been investing in the channel for the sort of past year. So new camera, new software, new laptop. It's just got to the channel where I'm happy that everything works. But that said, I went on for years with just a webcam and an external mic, and yeah.
You're right. So what, Ken? What do you use, bud?
For me, I'll get my picture up. I'm trying to make sure it should be uploaded now. I've been trying to get the other picture uploaded. Yeah, there is. So this is my setup. You can see I've got over in the corner there. It's actually a Panasonic HCX1, which is actually about 500 quid. This camera. So it does it in 4K, right down to into 1080p, but it also does files in MP4.
Okay.
Which is quite handy because they're smaller. But everyone always asks me, how is my video so crisp, smooth, and all that stuff? Because, and doesn't jerk and stuff. Well, because my camera, I'm using the actual video camera as my camcorder, as my webcam. And I do that by using a video card. So I use an Elgato video card that's built into the PC. Goes on the motherboard. So I take a direct HDMI feed from that camera into the PC, which I'm streaming to you with now. So that's why if I zoom in, you guys are going to love the zoom on this. Let's go. Hello. Hello. It's me.
That's like a Wayne's World extreme close-up.
So yeah, but as you can tell, look, you haven't lost any of the detail or anything like that. With this camera, if I really want to, I could probably zoom right into those miniatures.
I can see some dust, dude.
Yeah, you should be able to see. Can you see those Normans?
I can see some Vikings.
See some Vikings there.
If you make it a big screen, you'll probably be able to see it.
No, we can. I can see it. No, that is that's decent. So you'd recommend that then?
Oh yeah, this camera's awesome. Absolutely awesome. But it's money to invest. I buy it secondhand like I did. I paid $299 for it. Big capture card, bought secondhand, paid 50 quid instead of 100. The tripod I've got as well is actually a really decent tripod. I picked up in a charity shop for £5. It's like this German one. I can't even remember the name of it, but it's absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. I'll try and find the name of it, but yeah, camera wise, I love my camera.
Okay.
I didn't like I had a DSLR at first, but they only let you record for like 15 minutes because stupid EU law or something is to do with tax reasons. So if you want to record continuous video, you got to either use a phone or you've got to use this. But my phone as well, my own personal phone, I've got a Galaxy S21. And that is pretty banging as well, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so I don't actually. I just record on that.
Yeah, you just use your phone, don't you?
I just use. Well, yeah, I use this. So this is a Huawei. How do you pronounce it? Huawei. P30 Pro, and I got this because of the camera on it. So this is. I can't remember the stats on this. It shoots in 4K. It's got a massive memory. So all my videos, apart from the first, I guess, year and a half, that were done on that was done on a phone as well. So because honestly, some of these phones now, they're just nuts. I mean, the quality that you get out of them is brilliant. And obviously the gimbal that you use that hooks up straight to my phone. So that's all Bluetooth. And then for this, I just have an Earcon webcam. That's all I use. So Martin's videos were released in China first. Yeah, it's great. If they ask if anyone is spying on me, all they're going to see is pictures of plastic men and holes of dirt from work. That's it. That's all that's on that phone. Mortsick just says, dude, that you can't see any books that have fallen over on your minis.
They haven't fallen over.
Oh dear.
I like
Absolutely.
it. People's OCD crazy.
It does. So we're going to come on to one of the other things. Sound, right? As in music. One of the big ones that we got asked about was where do we get like license-free music from? Well, the big one is YouTube has a massive library of sound effects and music of questionable quality. Some of it's quite good. Some of it's quite good. But there are definitely there are some diamonds in the rough in there, aren't there? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. How you just how you worded that. Such a what's the word I'm looking for? Politician
Diplomatically.
answer. Yeah, diplomatic answer.
Exactly. Steve, what do you use? Do you just use YouTube, or do you find?
No, I use YouTube, but apart from that time when I used that jazz soundtrack, which was just like that was lamentable. I never used it again. I used the YouTube Studio Library because I think, like you said, there's some utter dreck in there, absolute total dross, but you do find the really good ones. I tend to go for like ambient. Yeah, I think it's easier to find that, and there's no. I know if I use something from there, I'm safe. I'm not gonna. It'd be very, very suspicious if I were to get any kind. I know some of them, when you click on it, it tells them what kind of attribution you need to use. So some will just say you don't need to attribute them. You don't need to mention. I mean, I always put, as a courtesy, I always put the artist and the name in the title of the video. Some people make you put in a paragraph.
Yes.
To let them know. For me, it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me because I know that if it's from there, it's all royalty free. I'm not going to get struck, and I've never had any issues with any music or sound effects I've used off the YouTube Studio Library. It does take a bit of digging around to find exactly what you want, but it's worth it.
Yeah. No, that's it. Kevin Stormstill, Kevin McLeod. Yeah, he's got a great library of stuff. I've used quite a lot of his. Although you do find that people keep on trying to. I've had 7 copyright claims for using his stuff, and each time it was a phony one, and you have to send in the thing saying, "Look, I've done the attribution, and it's fine, and this person is clearly chatting bollocks." So it can be a pain. I want to recommend, which is totally fine, is Serpent Sound Studios, and that's where I pretty much get all my music from. Now he has ambient music. You know, the metal for our metal one. That's off of there. He's got a whole metal library on there, and he just wants an attribution. I don't mind putting those on because it's like, well, they've gone to the effort of making the music, and I'm using it for my video. The least I can do is put that on there to. So if it cut and paste it, it takes like 2 seconds. So it's not something that particularly bothers me. I've paid for music. I've paid for music.
I've never paid. I've used BenQ Sounds before. That's the one that I go to.
I paid for a piece for the Wild West stuff because the one that I could find on YouTube or anyone else, I thought was terrible. If I hate this, then I would turn this off if this was on the video, so I'm not going to use it. So I went and I think I paid £5. So and it was a good little bit of music, but I can't. So there are content, music creators out there. They don't always cost loads. Stock footage. If you want stock footage, that costs money. I was looking at some Napoleonic stock footage because I was like, oh, I'll make a fun intro, maybe with some marching, guardsmen or something like that. And I looked at it, and it was like, here's £49 for 3 seconds.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I think what was I trying to find? I was trying to find some World War II footage. I was going to, with battle reports coming up. It's just an idea I was floating. I was like, "Excuse me, what? You want that much for literally a blink of footage?" Nah, I think I'll pass on that.
Pass.
There are, if you like doing, if you're a dab hand sort of green screen stuff, there is people. If you like, want to do green screen effects, there's loads on YouTube that you can just use. If you just type in green screen effects, as long as all you got to do is just have a look around. No one's gonna care or do. So like if you're doing things like blood splatters or anything like that, if you wanted to do like a wound animation or just like kind of there's loads on YouTube that you can find, absolutely loads. And because a lot of those ones, because it's downloadable video stuff, they'll send you to a link. It is absolutely fine. I think there's one just called CineFX or something like that, which are quite good. good advice there from Alex, which is keep music and sound effects in a file on your PC. Saves you hunting around. Absolutely, I've got one that just says music, and then what I've had to do though is on those, because there's so many now, I've had to put in brackets, use this one at the start because I keep forgetting the names. So, but the thing is, obviously, if you do get a copyright strike, your video is not going to go down.
No.
All it just means is you can't earn money off of it. Speaking of which, one of the last things on here, which people asked us about, was monetization. So we're all monetized, which I remember at one point we're like, we're not going to monetize. And then Mr. YouTube sent everyone an email saying, even if you're not monetized, we're going to put ads on your videos.
Yeah.
We'll put ads on your videos. So we all then monetized. Yeah. So I mean, so for those people who want to monetize, obviously it's all done by ad revenue. When you select your video, you can select the type of you can select the type of adverts you want. There's a couple that you have to have, but so you could decide if you want those ones that pop up and overlay on the screen and all that kind of stuff, or I don't select those ones. I have ones at the beginning and ones at the end, and then if the video is particularly long, I'll chuck one in the middle or something like that. You can also just tell YouTube to do it, but then YouTube will probably put one every like 5 seconds if you do that. Also, what was the thing? I can't remember what I was going to say. You have to obviously we have to self police your stuff. You've got to assess your own content. You've got to say if you swear, say if it's violent, say if it's got anything inappropriate in it. So basically, like this stream, when this uploads, I have to say yes, it's going to have swearing in it. Even if it don't, I just have to guess that it will because Ken's here. So and then basically the way it works with the ad revenue, it basically just builds up, and once you've earned over 60 quid, it pays out. It's that simple. It just uses AdSense from Google. You just set it up, and once you've made 60 quid, it'll pay out. So sometimes you might get a payment you might hit 60 quid, and then it might be particularly at the end of the year, because all the advertising money's gone, everyone's thing tends to go whoop like that and just drop straight down. So I mean, loads of people worry that YouTube breaks. So if you're not that bothered about it, you go like, oh, it's just gone down quite a lot, whatever. But it does drop off, doesn't it, for about 2 months at the end of the year when the advertising revenue isn't there anymore. And then so that's it. But you can. I mean that's the thing. It's like Alex just said. You can add more visitor videos. You should give patrons ad-free videos now. You can sort of, as you say, go ad-free. YouTube Premium, if people sign up for that, they get ad-free, don't they?
Yeah. YouTube Premium is ad-free.
Crossing Obstacles has just said he actively unsubscribes from channels that content gate via Patreon and such. My channel isn't big enough for YouTube monetization. It used to be, what was it, 1,000 subs?
It was 1,000 subs, and you needed 4,000 hours of watch time within a certain time frame. Yeah,
absolutely. If you do things like Patreon and memberships and things like that, then you have complete control over what you're putting up. Obviously, if you watch my video, I've just set up memberships, but there's no sort of pay. I'm not going to put any content behind that, so there's no pay for content or anything like that. So it's up to you. Up to you what you can do. And Louis put up quite a good point, which is if you get an ad blocker, you can just block them. So we
don't mention that because it breaks YouTube's terms of service.
It does.
Oh, well. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. Oh, well. That'll be interesting. Anyway, let's on that note, don't mention that. It breaks the terms of service. Let's have a look at what people have been posting in the Facebook group this week. And again, there has been absolutely loads in there. So thank you everyone who's taken the time to post. I've deliberately not picked anything that is for the Badger Challenge or the next OPC challenge, I hope. So we'll start things off. Alex put on a game of Al, he pulls it off. over at the Lard weekend, and I really liked that view of the of the planes, which I thought was ace. I'd really like to give this a go at some point. Definitely, very cool. So nice one, Alex. Andy is a maniac.
Cool.
One-page rules. Some kind of Mad Max, death dealing, destruction derby, awesomeness. I'm not even sure what scale they are. As it's Andy, I'm going to imagine that they're probably teeny.
Martin, did you see how he painted them?
No.
He covered them. I think it was in modelling putty.
Yeah.
And then just went at them. I think that's what he posted this really odd picture and looked like a car encased in sort of modelling putty. And then he just whacked it over with it and it was like paints and oils. But they look awesome, yeah.
They do look very cool. Very cool. Andy has this is some Swedes. Look at those. Look at
nice. Just look at them.
Beautiful.
Very cool. I really do like his Swedish stuff. It does look awesome. So the next one. So this is Dan Justin's first command base.
Oh nice. Well done. It's really good effort.
That is wicked.
Yeah, it's very
absolute,
good. Well done.
Just brilliant use and just the models you picked for it, especially with Picton behind. That is very cool. Top stuff. Excellent. Danny, it's done a 25-pounder. I think this is 170 stuff. So that is very cool. Gary has done a regiment of Landwehr, and that's all in contrast.
Oh yeah, that does look good.
Didn't he say they were 20 mil or 25 mil?
I think he said they're 25, so he's built the bases up. So if you look at the base, he's base so they stand on the same height as who is on everyone. Morsick, who doesn't like Swedish stuff exactly. Very cool. Granapego, he's done right. So Granapego's done low. So I picked these guys, which is because he's working through his second Netherlands division. So if you go over onto the Facebook page, I think he put up about 3 posts of stuff because he's a machine when it comes to putting his stuff out. I know they should have a battalion off and see how many they can get through. But that is lovely, and I do like it when people chuck a mounted colonel in there. That's always very cool. Lewis. ACW stuff, I just really like.
Lovely.
I really like the greys and the basing. Very cool. Matt Mail has had his first game with Dead Man's Hand, and I think from the impression I got, I think he laughed himself silly during it, which is what we like to hear.
That's what Dead Man's Hand's all about.
That's it. The dating people have just found us. I thought it would take another while. Bippity boppity blocked. There we go. Nathan has done some. Sorry, you didn't like that, did you? So we have some excellent Plague Marines.
I was going to say that.
I love the effects.
I like the kind of really muted, sort of washed out uniform look. It just makes them look even more. Yeah, even more putrid looking.
Absolutely fantastic. It's more blue in it than normal. Because people like green on it, but love it. Owain has done some Dark Age archers. He's a Griffin Beast. He's strung the bows. Strung the bows. There you go, Leslie, mate. That'll keep you happy. Lovely stuff. Neil, this is Lord Zoosh for his Wars of the Roses stuff. Very nice, black and red, which is not a livery color that we see a lot. But it's a lovely one, so I'm glad. It's really nice to see it.
Percy's black and red, isn't he?
Yeah, but you ain't painted nothing in it for bloody ages.
Yeah, true, but he's still black and red.
But we don't see it. If you paint some more, and then he'll turn up. We have some Dark Age Irish from Paul, which I really like.
Nice.
They're very fun, very cool. I love this hand on the shields. That is
that's really good.
All right, I got
Robert
is doing some Russian again, Martin. That's a needy thing.
Probably.
Huawei heard you.
Probably. Sorry, Robert's been working on some Russians. Now, Steve, man. So Steve Beckett, this is a 3D printed dwarf from I think he said it was, is it like Medbury or Medley Miniatures, and he's using it for Lord of the Rings.
Oh
yes, Yes.
Very,
That
very
is-
cool.
That is very good. That is that's fucking awesome.
That's
Swearing.
that is just a classic fantasy figure.
Yeah, that's really nice,
It's
man.
very, very cool.
And it suits the Lord of the Rings aesthetic as well. 100%.
That is very, very cool.
I don't know if any self-posing dwarf would have a bow on his back though. It's a bit more of an elf weapon.
Now, the next one is Steve, right? And he's put this up. This is his game of Kings of War, right? And I love watching Steve's videos. And I like looking at his Kings of War content. Because Kings of War is a game I like. But I saw this picture, and as you guys know, we often only pick one picture when people put up a whole sort of stash of them. And this just and I was going to put one up which had like a whole bunch of units, and then I saw this one, and I just had to put this up because it reminded me.
I was going to say it's Krang.
It's Krang from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, pummeling a giant mummy or something. I don't know.
That's the first thing I thought of when I saw that. That's uncanny.
I love it.
The mummy thing reminds me of Mortal Kombat, the thing that's got 4 arms.
Oh yes.
But I've never watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's not my generation, is it? It's not what I grew up with, so I have no idea what Krang is. But it looks disgusting.
Krang, not Kerrang. Kerrang's a magazine. Kerrang is a music magazine. The rock. Jesus Christ. Tony's done 44 foot. Kerrang.
I thought I said Krang.
It's a Kerrang.
I meant Krang.
So they're very sorry. We're in overtime now, so I'm going really. Stephen, Black Templars, stunning work as always, mate. They of course. Ken, you're such a knob. Lovely stuff, excellent. I'm sorry for the largest not the miniatures is because of our co-host. And then Tony West has finally finished his Austrian Dragoons. Which are lovely. You're right there, Steve. You're right, bud.
I'm fine.
Do we need to have a word?
No, I'm good.
Oh Jesus. Well, on that note.
I'll channel
Oh
next
my
week.
God. Well, it is Ken's channel next week, so do head over there. Now, Ken's chosen subject is 5 essential things for wargaming. I don't know what they're going to be, but he'll set up the stream, and he's probably going to set it up ASAP so people can comment on it, aren't you, Ken? And have a chat about it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Bit of a different subject tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, if you've got any questions about that, send them to us. And of course, there's loads of guys who do YouTube and that in the comments. And the main thing is, if you're thinking of doing it, just get on and do it. Just make a video, put it out there. You've got, if you want to share it, then just go for it. And it's always worth it. You'll soon find out if it isn't. Trust me. People will tell you. They will tell you, but seriously, have a go. Guys, remember, check out the Facebook group if you're not already a member. You can still get your CrackCon tickets. You can get your CrackCon t-shirts. Check out the games list for CrackCon. Check out all of our channels below. Thank you for watching on the replay. That's 3 times now. And remember to take part in the Badger Challenge for 2 weeks' time. It's Ken's channel next week. We have been the Plastic Crack Podcast. I'm desperately trying to find the outro so I can do this smoothly. And we will see you all next week. Take care.
See you everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.